Hello children, we now start with your creative writing skills. Your creative writing skills are of 8 marks. 3 marks are for your invitations and your 5 marks carry 2 topics. One is your report writing and one is your job application. We are taking up report writing today. Now report writing this time is of 5 marks, but we have seen even those times when report writing was of 10 marks. And children during the exam would get it all wrong because they would not write it in the form of a report. They would write it in the form of an article. An article is not a report. You report about an event which has already occurred. It may continue for about another 1 or 2 days, but otherwise reporting, you report about something which has taken place. So there's a system by which you go by. There's what you need to write in your first paragraph and then the second one and then how you conclude it. So when you know the pattern and you know how it is to be written, it becomes easier for you. But then the next step that needs to be followed is to practice. Practice your previous year's board questions of report writing. Get them corrected from your respective subject teachers. And wherever they point out your mistakes, go through your mistakes and prepare a fresh draft of your report and then make sure that you don't commit those mistakes again. That is how you will be able to grab how to write a report correctly. Now, it is a systematic, well-organized document and it analyzes a subject or a problem. Then it is an essential skill in most disciplines. Report is something which is almost, once you're working, you will always find reports about wherever, whatever the situation or whatever work you are doing, you will find report to be there with you. It is a vivid expression of a person's experience. In other words, it is a commentary on the incidents seen by the reporter. Now the objective. What is the objective of writing the report? Now the first objective of writing a report is to highlight an event. An event you highlight an event, an incident or experience of general nature. Then the report creates awareness among readers and through the reports lot of issues can be highlighted, can be brought to the knowledge of the people, and it helps in solving through the concerned authorities. When the reports are mentioned in the newspaper reports, these newspapers are read by everyone, and then through those reports the concerned authorities, they tackle the problem, bring a solution to the problem. Then it is a vivid expression of a personal experience, an account of something heard, seen, done. So you suppose you've been out somewhere and your school authorities tell you to write a report about the seminar you have attended or the trip where you had gone. So you are able to, you need to mention about those, you should be able to write the report. Then the most common example is the news report that we read in the newspaper every day. This is actually the main thing. The report, what is newspaper? What does a newspaper carry? It carries reports. So most of the time it's the newspaper report and the magazine report which you get in your examination. And then there are a handful of reports and you need to know some key words in those reports that will enable you to frame other reports because they're almost similar to each other. Now the types of reports. A newspaper report, a report about an event or function at school, institute or organization, a report about an accident happening witnessed by you, a report about an inquiry or a survey. Now these reports have frequently come in your board exam. Frequently. See, this time you will not get a choice, but we did have a choice. There were those two questions, and out of those two reports, the child had to write one. So there are ample of CBSE questions and a number of questions given in your Maxx marks where you have lot of solved reports as well as practice questions. Now how you will go about preparing them? You will go through those solved reports, underline those key words, key sentences, and practice those practice questions. Now, points to keep in mind when you are writing the report. Number one, be factual and add no information that seems fake. No fake information is to be added. Whatever is authentic, way it has been done, just mention it accordingly. Then write it in indirect speech and preferably in passive voice. Write in third person pronoun. You don't write on I saw this and I this and I happened. No, it is written in third person pronoun. Neither impose your personal opinions or draw any conclusion. See, you're reporting about an event as it occurred and you mention it according to the steps. We start with what happened, when it happened, and where it happened. And then the next paragraph talks about how it happened, the details. Now the second paragraph happens to be a lengthy paragraph. And then you conclude it. You sum it up. You sum it up by what action is being taken or how the program ended. And then again there are those few sentences. Normally the school events conclude with a vote of thanks by the principal, followed by, or the other option you have is it concluded by national anthem, followed by high tea for the participants. Or the third option you have is the prize distribution was followed by lunch for the participants. So the concluding sentences for the school events, for the accident reports, for the newspaper reports normally can be manipulated here and there, and you could have that set conclusion ready with you. Now you're not supposed to give your personal opinion. It has to be, it's just a factual report. You'll just report about what had happened. They're not asking you your opinion, But yes, according to an eyewitness, the eyewitness part is mentioned in the newspaper reports. Now eyewitness is the person who was present over there, जो वहाँ पे था, जिसने वो जो देखा, वो वाली line आप डाल देते हो. According to an eyewitness, comma, name of the person, comma, and then you inverted comma open, and then you just write a sentence according to the event. If it was an accident, then you could mention according to an eyewitness, comma, name, let's say Ravinder, said that the driver was drunk and had jumped the red light. And he was, he's, and inverted comma close. Why you've mentioned it? Because that person was there and he saw it. So what does the eyewitness do to your report? What eyewitness is doing to your report is, it is making it authentic. It is making it more real. Now comes the parts of a report. which you really need to prepare properly and very clearly. Now the headline. Again, the heading must have a catchy heading, a ghastly road accident, rather than just a simple road accident, or would any very good adjective to be added with the heading makes it more impressive. It should be catchy and brief and convey the main points of the report. Then comes your byline. In the byline, you mention the name of the person who is writing the report. Most of the time, or 99% of the time, the name is mentioned in your board exam, in the question paper. It is mentioned. But just 0.1%, just in case if the name is not mentioned, you will write down by XYZ. It has to be there. Now this actually, this carries your 1 mark. Then we move on to date and place of report. Date and place of the report comes in newspaper reports and not in school magazine reports. And then the date and place, you just need to mention the date, need not mention the year. It's a newspaper report. It's either few hours old or just 1 day old report. So the date and place where the event has occurred. It simply carries the name of the place where the news report emanates, begins, starts over there, and the date on which the event had occurred. Now the first paragraph. First paragraph is a very brief paragraph where you mention about, it consists of a brief description of the incident, the place of occurrence, what happened, when it happened, where it happened. A very brief, 2 to 3 lines, not beyond that, maybe 4 lines. It's not a very lengthy paragraph. It's your introductory paragraph. Then you talk about the details of the event. If it was an accident, or if it's about a seminar conducted in your school, or if they're talking about some workshop which took place in your school, or they're talking about a week-long musical festival organized in your school, whatever the event may be. Then see, if it's about a week-long festival, about a week-long event which took place, then you must mention them in chronological order. It's not that what happened on Monday, the first, write down that, then the second, then the third. Not that the fourth is coming first and then the third. No. Mention it in chronological order and then you conclude it all together. Mention the prize distribution ceremony was on the 7th day and it was a gala event and all the participants were given a token of gratitude along with their mentors, So this is how you will sum it up for all those 7 days all together on the 7th day. Not that each event you are mentioning it, the prizes for, no, not that. Events separately, date-wise, and then you conclude them all together in the last paragraph. The conclusion. It includes writer's remarks and the aftermath of the incidents. So here you conclude it, sum it up. How do you sum it up? How the event came to an end, how it concluded. If it's an accident, what has happened to the victims? What is the government, if the government has promised them, or the driver has fled or has been arrested, whatever, just sum it up in the concluding. Our first paragraph is also not very lengthy and our last one is also not very lengthy. It's the second one which carries the details, is a lengthy paragraph. Now there's an example. An NGO, Health for All, organized a health checkup camp in a slum at Amritsar. You are Ruchika Ronak and you visited the camp. Write a report in about 150 to 200 words covering arrangements such as registration, checkup, test carried out. This is a previous CBSE question. Now, how we begin? This is our heading. Health for All conducts health camp. It's already given to us. Health for All conducts health camp. Now, by Ruchika, we'll go by one name. Here we'll just mention either Ruchika or Ronak. Then we begin with the first paragraph. A well-known NGO, Health for All, conducted a health camp in a community hall at Amritsar. What happened? A Health for All camp was conducted. Where? At community hall in Amritsar. Announcement of this camp was done 1 week before so as to receive participation in huge numbers. People attended the camp in large numbers. Doctors were present there to guide the patients. You may also mention about maybe some renowned doctors, and you may mention about one or two health issues which they took it up. People attended the camp in large numbers. Doctors were present there to guide the patients. Many health checkups such as BP, sugar, thyroid, BMI, ENT, eyes, cornea were undertaken. It was also announced that reports of the checkups will be handed over to them after 2 days at NGO office located near the community hall. So, this is how you are supposed to write, not that you have to memorize it and write this. This is how it is to be written. How will you learn? By practice. Now, there's another question here. Pahalgam district, Kashmir had organized a 4-day flower show in the tulip gardens of the valley. You are Navtej Namita, staff reporter for the Tribune. As a newspaper reporter, write a report covering the same event in 120 to 150 words. Now, when you will be mentioning about it, remember you have to mention staff reporter along with it, and then the date and place, and then you begin with what, when, where. Now, these are the points which you will be taking care of while you are writing down your report. Big crowds, amazingly beautiful park, big variety of flowers and plants. Mention some flowers, people taking pictures, making videos, folk music played in the garden, a successful event. Now, these are the concluding lines, the successful event. And maybe you could call somebody out here had come to inaugurate it. You could call either the CM or even if the DM of the Pahalgam district was there to inaugurate the flower show. Add on the information. But then again, while giving the exam, you will not, those thoughts will come to you, but they'll randomly come to you. But if you've had sufficient practice and you've practiced sufficient reports in your writing skill registers, that is going to benefit you, and that will help you to make it in a very organized and a very systematic way. Again, a report is a newspaper report or a school magazine report. There's a heading, and then there's by name and class for your school magazine. If it's for the newspaper, you mention the heading, by the name, staff reporter, and if the staff reporter, they've mentioned you the name of the reporter, like you, if it's of Times of India, TOI reporter, and then place and date. Nowadays in the newspapers, there's the mail IDs of the reporters are given. So that too you could take it up. Again, report writing is of 5 marks. You cannot just read it and leave it at that. You have to practice. There are a number of questions. There are solved CBSE questions in your Maxx marks. Then there are practice questions also. You need to practice those questions after having read the solved questions. Right? Thank you so much. Take care.